What's going on, Taurus? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Now, the theme of this week's monthly spread is going to be self-growth, Taurus, and all the ways that you can embody the best qualities of your future self. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just good energy all around here, Taurus. Now, Taurus, with this spread, I'm going to be going until Higher Self says stop. We're just going with the flow here. And just so you all know, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings. We're just working with the energy. So apply the energies to people as they make sense for your situation, okay? And then lastly, the decks that I'm using. Oh, yep, there it is. The decks that I'm using. This one is that I'm shuffling is the Astro Matrix Tarot deck. And then the other deck that I'm going to be using is the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle deck. And I'll include links for these decks and other decks that I'd like to work with down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested there, Taurus. All right, Taurus. But you got the Judgment. I mean, you got a few cards here, but this one that's standing out here mainly is the Judgment card. I'm going to get to you in a second. But with this Judgment, Taurus, this is a time of transitions. You know, this is going to be a month of just a lot of readjusting here, Taurus. You got next week, you know, depending on when you're watching this, on the 7th of March, there's going to be a full moon in Virgo, and then couple that with, you got the big change. Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces on the 7th. And this is going to be, you know, Saturn only makes a move every 3 years, roughly. And, you know, the last time that it made a move was when it moved into Aquarius around 2020, and, you know, things kind of went sideways there for a second. And not that I feel like things are going to be like that this time, but there are going to be some changes. You know, Pisces, I feel like, is very kind of creative, very dreamy type of energy. And, you know, even when we get into I'm just thinking of just like, you know, with that fantasy type of energy, I feel like this is going to kind of bring our head out of the clouds, which may be a shock for some, you know, kind of like facing more reality. But I feel like that is going to be, if we work with the energies, Taurus, that this ascension here, this transformation, it's going to be a wonderful one. But it's going to be something where, one, we're going to need to trust our intuition in this. Because another big one that's happening too, speaking of Pluto, because the Judgment card here in this deck is represented by Pluto. Another one that's going down, Pluto's going to be moving into Aquarius on the 23rd of this month of March. So we got a lot of big stuff happening. And Pluto only changes sign like between every 20 and 30 years. So things are we're going through a transition phase, Taurus, all of us, and we're all going to be feeling that. But this is a time, you know, to let your intuition guide the way here. You know, there's going to be some actions that are going to need to be taken. You know, Saturn is the planet of restrictions. It's going to be, when that energy comes around, it's going to highlight some areas where we need to grow. And in order to grow, that's going to require us sometimes to let some things go, Taurus. And I'm thinking with this 5 of Cups here, if some of us may be kind of, you know, maybe we're noticing some things that are no longer serving us a purpose, or they're not resonating with us like they used to. And maybe that's gotten it to, maybe we know that it's not quite, it's like we know that this thing is holding us down, but we're still kind of clinging to it, Taurus. And just kind of evaluate your energy during this time here, you know, just to see, you know, this could be, this could be maybe something along the lines of, I'm thinking about maybe like if we want to change up our diet, if we're trying to, it doesn't have to be necessarily like massive things, Taurus. You know, if we want to change up our diet, if we want to, or you know, if we notice like some foods that aren't working with us, if we notice too, like maybe if we're not moving the body enough, that may be something. Possibly maybe some, you know, there may be some vices that we might need to let go as well. You know, maybe I'm thinking if, you know, on the food thing, maybe if we overeat, or if we have, you know, something with alcohol or drugs or, you know, cigarettes, you know, smoke, whatever. You know, this is a time to really just kind of evaluate life and sort of like clean up house and see what are some ways that's preventing us from growing. And this is going to be something too, Taurus. Make sure that we're resting up during this energy. You know, there's a lot that's going down. I mean, my son's in Cancer, and I mean, yeah, we're all feeling it. So we need to make sure that we're protecting our minds and our energy at this time, and just taking, you know, it's not like I'm saying that you can't push, you know, that we can't do anything during this time, you know, Taurus. But I just feel like, you know, making sure to carve out some moments for just some extra rest, you know, just when we can get moments there, because there's going to be it's just going to be an adjustment period right now. And it's going to call upon us to really kind of hone into ourselves. And if there are some things that are inhibiting our growth, it's time to deal with that, Taurus, because otherwise, I mean, it's not going to affect the fact that your level up here, this transformation is going to happen. It's just going to affect how it's going to happen, whether it's going to be a comfortable one or a more difficult one. And something too, Taurus, to think about, you know, if we resist this change, you know, we cling on to these habits or whatever is that maybe lowering our vibrations. You know, higher self is cool, but you know, sometimes, you know, if we're missing the message, then, you know, that's how tower moments pop up, death cards pop up, hanged man situations. And it's not to scare you, Taurus. It's just to help you be able to ride this wave a lot smoother. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And this is more what I was kind of talking about here too. You know, with everything that's going down energetically, people are going to be kind of all over the place here. So let's say, for example, if we're letting go of drinking, you know, maybe, you know, when we decide to make this decision, maybe some old friends of ours, like our old crew, might be like, yo, Taurus, what are you doing? How come you're not hanging it with us? You know, like, oh, you become boring, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, what is it because Saturn is, and if your friends are this cool to say this, is because Saturn's going into Pisces, you might want to bring that one along with them. But for the rest of them that are just sort of going through what this energy is just happening to them, you know, there may be some opinions about, you know, you doing this transition and letting things go. So protect if this is what you want to do, and this doesn't even necessarily have to be with like friends, you know, as well. This could be maybe you're choosing to let something go or change up a routine, and maybe family feels some kind of way, maybe if we're in a relationship, our partner feels some kind of way. But if you know that it's doing you good, Taurus, and it's raising your vibration, protect that. You know, this is going to be a time to be very mindful energetically as well. What's going on in your world and in others. You know, pay attention to those around you and see how they're working through this, you know, through this energy at this time here. Let's see what else. Yeah, because Taurus is starting to. Yep. Okay. Oh. Taurus, I feel like this is gonna be a big one for you, Taurus. Look at you, Emperor. And that's funny, because I just finished doing Libra, and their starting card was the Empress. But the Emperor's been following you around quite a bit, Taurus. I think this is the second time I want to say, did you have the Emperor last week? I don't know if it was your starting card, but I know you definitely had. I think he popped up in your reading. And so, Taurus, I feel like that this is something where if we're noticing some areas, oh, hold on, if we're noticing some areas that we feel that we could do, that we need, or that could use some refinement at this time, because when I'm thinking about the stuff that's letting go as well, this can also be a time of, it's a time of letting go, but it's a time of reflection, just overall, we're seeing the stuff that's not serving us a purpose, and we're also figuring out how we want to grow in this next cycle. And that's a nice thing, too, Taurus, maybe to think about this transformation and going through this energies, think of it as like a cycle, where sure, something is ending, but something is simultaneously beginning as well. And there's areas, I feel like that, as we start to close out old chapters and make space for new stuff. This allows us to, really pay attention to, do you want to make more time to, I don't know, maybe like get out, work out, or maybe this can even be something simple too. Maybe we wanted to work in more time for like reading or doing more kind of like more like hobby type things. Maybe you wanted to like paint or sculpt or just do maybe any sort of creation. Maybe even just make it more point to go like get out and appreciate art more, I feel like that this is the time, if we've been feeling some areas that, we've been feeling like that have been neglected or that could use some refinement. This is a good time, Taurus. Take action on this stuff. This is a good time. And Taurus, when I was talking about as far as like this as being a time of reflection and stuff, look at too, with this eight of Pentacles, pay attention to the ways you have grown, up until, I don't know, since the last self-growth, let's see where, in what ways have you leveled up, because that's something too, this isn't just a time to just like, just bring us down and just like, oh my gosh, I got to let go of just all this stuff here. This is a time for celebration as well, because if we're here, the fact that you've made it this far, on your journey, there's growth here. You've grown, and one thing I will think about, or that I'm thinking about, that you should think about, Taurus, with the Five of Swords, popping up. When we're going through these growth periods and seeing, because there may be, maybe this is more intense for you than it is for others, maybe that we're noticing. And that's something, be careful of that, Taurus. We don't want to compare our journeys to others, because then that gets us to this place where we feel like that we're not achieving enough, or maybe that we're not trying hard enough, or maybe that we don't get it. And it's like you're exactly where you need to be on your journey. It's one thing to maybe exchange, just to talk about that, that person who was talking about, because that drinking buddy was talking about when we're talking about Pisces energy, maybe exchange some notes with them, just like, hey, how are you feeling energetically right now? What's going down with you? Is this really affecting you here? Because let me tell you what, Taurus, a little bit about me. And it's like, when I'm recording this, it's on the 2nd, and I'll tell you what, yesterday on the 1st, yesterday the moon was in Cancer, and during that time, you're gonna get a whole lesson here. We're gonna talk about the moon, and then we're gonna talk about the moon. That I was in it, like it was a real emotional time, and it was just like a whirlwind. It was just like, man, there's definitely something going down here. But the nice thing too, Taurus, when I'm thinking about comparing, to others possibly, the fact that you're even, kind of tuning in to that there is a change is a big deal. And that's, something, again, to talk about this time of reflection is worthy of celebrating, because at least it's like, this is not just like something's just happening to you just because it's random. It's like, oh, okay, this is going down. Even if I'm feeling this stuff right now, at least it's like, all right, it'll help you understand it a little bit more with this, with the King of Swords here. I feel like that there's a lot of wisdom that can come out of here for you, Taurus. I feel like, with this Emperor King of Swords combo, this is something that, yeah, you can really, I really accumulate a lot of understanding here, but it is going to be seeing through seeing through all of the deceptions. And I feel like when I'm saying deceptions, you know, with the moon card, this can be the Pisces card. So you're in the, now you're really in the energy there, Taurus. But with Pisces, or excuse me, with the moon and Pisces, get out of here, Pisces. It's about seeing the truths. You know, when I was talking about how Saturn is going to, I feel like it's going to be like an energy of where we're going to kind of like face reality more. This is being honest with ourselves. You know, have there been some areas that we've been neglecting? Have there been some behaviors that we've been feeding that's hindering our growth? You know, this is going to be the time for you to see through all of this stuff and to walk into the unknown. You know, the moon is not meant to scare us. It can be considered the scariest card in the deck, but the moon is offering you an opportunity to step into the unknown, to shine your light, because the moon is all the moon does is reflects the light of the sun. And in another deck that I like using, the Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck, the little, normally it's a lobster in the moon cards, but in that deck it's a scarab beetle and it's carrying a sun. And that's the light that you're bringing, Taurus. That's the light that the moon wants to reflect. It wants to reflect your dreams, your fantasy, your growth, you know, but we have to take that steps. And two, you know, this is, the moon can kind of like signify like a crossroads here. You know, this is about trusting your decision, trusting those intuitions, not letting, you know, not stagnating at the idea of like, well, what if I choose the wrong way? Taurus, that's your higher self, God, Buddha, Jesus, however you connect to the source, is going to guide you to that light. But it's just making sure that we trust that, okay? More? But you know, Taurus, I do feel like that if you were, and and I'm thinking of, Aries just got me thinking about the Empress, which I'll tell you why. Because when I'm recording this too, your ruler Venus is in Aries right now. And I feel like that this is going to be a good time for both you and Libra, you know, to really kind of take action towards, you know, the betterment of yourself, you know, to find ways, making you, as I told Libra, make you your habit. You know, this is a time of really good self-improvement here. And I feel like it's going to bring a new kind of confidence out of you, Taurus. I feel like that you can, yeah, hanged one. Oh, and wow, Taurus. So there's a lot that's about to go down here for you. You know, I feel like that there's going to be an understanding, you know, from this energies here, realization, you know, of what I really feel like you're working with. And this, because look at this, now we got Aquarius. You know, we were talking about what we got, Pluto and Pisces, and now do we have, okay, this is Neptune, whatever. But things are lining up here for you. You know, this is a time, I feel like, you know, really connect to yourself. You know, anymore? Okay. But connect to yourself, you know, connect to the source. Listen to that inner guidance right now, because this is going to be a time of expansion. And really, you know, I'm thinking with this is Aquarius, this card. This is going to be also like a time of innovation, you know, really thinking outside of the box. You got Neptune energy here, you know, this is one of Pisces rulers. You know, this is going to be a time, you know, if you got anything that you've been kind of cooking up, you know, any sort of ideas as well, you know, this doesn't, you know, your self-growth can also be improvements in, like, if you want to start something up, you know, maybe even like if you've been entertaining the idea of like maybe a business. I know we just did business last week, but that energy can carry on to your self-growth. You know, it all ties in together. So if we got something that we're trying to cook up right now, definitely do that there, Taurus. And also too, you know, just with both of these energies, Pisces and Aquarius, you know, their energies are very much geared towards like the soul tribe, you know, the us as beings. You know, Pisces is very compassionate energy, and Aquarius is very humanitarian, you know, it's like wanting to raise that vibration. So I feel like Taurus, this could even be, you know, depending on where we're at on our journey, Taurus, you know, take it as it resonates. This could be something too where we're getting out of this. Maybe we're getting ready to rise into a position of stepping into like leadership. You know, this could be something really big for you. You know, for some of us, if we're thinking about taking that next step, you know, but with all these, again, with all these big things that may be going down for you, Taurus, make sure that we're getting the rest, you know, and you know, Taurus, this could also too, you know, I'm saying make sure to get rest, but this could also, I feel like I'm getting like this might indicate that you might be in for like a busy time coming up here soon, you know, or there may not be a time for a lot of rest. So this may be the time to build up energy now, because I feel like that, you know, as you know, we get ready to, and you know, pay attention. This, I feel like it's going to take maybe a few months to kind of get adjusted to this energy for sure. But I feel like around your birthday season, you know, you could be doing some big stuff here. But, you know, I also think too, one last thing, and then we're going to get into some oracle cards. You know, make sure, I was thinking just with Pisces and the compassionate energy, you know, make sure that we're being kind and compassionate and surrounding ourselves too, you know, with people that are going to kind of support us through these kind of like, you know, kind of transitioning and possibly turbulent times. But it's all going to be for the better there, Taurus. It's just like right now we're in a place of just needing to, it's going to be an adjustment period, you know, a chance to, your energies are going to need to realign with everything that's going down here. But make sure that we're keeping up on our maintenance here, you know, that we're taking care of ourselves throughout this energy here, because you got the maintenance card in reverse. And the first one was the align card. But make sure that we're taking care of ourselves through this situation here. Preventative maintenance is the name of the game. And this isn't a health advice, but this is just like, you know, for our emotional health, our physical health, spiritual health, make sure that all of that is being taken care of. Okay, Taurus, Mark? Oh, yeah. Okay. Any more? Dope. All right, Taurus, let's switch back over here, because the last card that you got is the Pop-It card. And I feel like that this, you know, I was kind of telling, I forgot who was I telling this? I think it was either telling Pisces or Libra this. But with the Pop-Its, you know, these are little charms I feel like that are meant for, you know, bringing good luck or, you know, good omens, you know, channeling good energies. And I feel like that, you know, making sure that we're working with, you know, utilizing different tools to kind of help us kind of go through this transition as well, Taurus. You know, I feel like that, and what I mean by that is, say, for example, if maybe we've been thinking about taking some time to like meditate more, or you know, maybe taking more times for stillness, you know, maybe looking at like different meditation apps or maybe sites or something along those lines. Or, you know, if we're thinking about, you know, maybe changing up like a fitness routine, you know, maybe looking up different, you know, maybe free sites, you know, if you want one, for example, Taurus, I've been a big fan of Fitness Blender. They got a whole, and again, these are people, when I mention stuff like this, Taurus, these aren't people that I'm like partnered with. This is just stuff that I personally like using. So, you know, avail yourself of it if it makes sense. But I've been been working with Fitness Blender for at least almost a decade. And it's been one of those, it's just like one of those, like they have a bunch of free exercises and stretching stuff and nutrition's a whole good thing. But that's just one example. You know, I got a whole bunch of things that we can do, Taurus. But availing yourself of all the tools and things that we have in order to keep up with that maintenance, you know, anything to kind of help this transition become a lot smoother, you know what I mean? I feel like that's what we're going to, you know, that kind of stuff is going to help us really kind of guide or get us through this judgment period, okay? Because believe me, Taurus, everyone has gotten some version of, you know, like Six of Swords, which is letting go, Five of Cups, like all of that. So, you know, we're all in this together, Taurus. So just, you know, just keep that in mind, you emperor, you. All right. I think I'm going to leave that there, Taurus, but hopefully you like that. If something resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And Taurus, absolutely. You know, I feel like these, you know, share this just, I feel like, to get the awareness out, you know, because sometimes when we're going through this stuff, it's nice to know, even when we're feeling it, even when we're in it, if it's like kind of chaotic right now, it's nice to know that it's like, okay, this is not just happening to me just because I'm like having like going through like I'm like on one or something. It's like, oh, okay, Saturn's moving into Pisces, or you know, Mercury's moving in. Mercury's going to be moving into Pisces here. I think later when I'm recording this, I want to say later today, but it's a lot. There's, you know, just it helps, you know, just to kind of know what's going down, and it just makes it so that it doesn't feel like things are just happening to you all the time. We can, you know, we get enlightened, and then we find ways to work with the energy. You know, we take the stuff we learned and we apply it, and that's how we become wise, Taurus. And, you know, so yeah, just share this. If you know someone who may be struggling with this energy, you know, just kind of pass this along. And then if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each week. And then social media. Guess what, Taurus? So I had this idea the other day doing stuff on the Chariot and Friends, and I have this app that I've been working, or that I've worked with over the years. It's Insight Timer. I think I've been using since like 2017 or something like that. But I created a little group on the app, and it's just a little space to, just like if you think of or like happen to see any sort of like positive affirmations, or think of or see any kind of like, you know, encouraging messages or anything along those lines. It's a space to just kind of drop in, maybe, you know, just drop little nuggets of positivity and just like little things to just raise the vibration. And I have it posted on, I posted it on my Facebook. I'm still trying to figure out how to get it on Instagram and on YouTube, but it's called Zodiac's Raising the Vibration. And maybe I'll figure out how to include a link for that in the description box as well. Maybe that's might be something possible. I got all the energy stuff going down here. I got a lot of stuff that I'm juggling as well, Taurus. But yeah, but that it's already up. You know, it's still getting like kind of organized. I already dropped put a little message in yesterday, but I'm gonna try to make it a point just to put something daily. Maybe I'll try to schedule some like meditations as the group grows. You know, maybe do some group meditations throughout the day. That actually might be really cool. But it's that's how I'm connecting on social media there, Taurus. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And then lastly, if you have any Cancer in your placements, you know, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, check out my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. Way to go. We discuss lunar shenanigans. And dang it, I forgot. Sidebar. Pisces is the moon. Why Pisces is the moon, I don't know, since that's Cancer's ruler. I've been meaning to talk to Pisces about that for some time. I just did their video too. I can't believe I forgot, but Pisces gonna get it. We'll talk about it later. Nature of their problem. But all that housekeeping, Taurus, down in the description box below. Let me get you out of here while I'm talking about all my stuff here. Nice. I'm with that. I love it. Two of Cups. Absolutely. That just gave me chills, Taurus. And then, let's see what we got over here. Water. Love it. Cancerian energy. I love it. But with this water card, let's start here. Because speaking of Cancerian energy, this water card it represents all the water signs: Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. All three signs very much in tune with our emotions. You know, very intuitive signs. It's And this Taurus, I feel like with the water energy coming in, this is asking you to be fluid and be adaptable during this time, because there may be, the emotions might possibly, run high, like as we're getting, as the transitions are happening. This may be a lot that we might be feeling right now. And allow ourselves, don't try not to close that off. Sometimes if we're going through these feelings right now, we got to feel it if there's any kind of healing that needs to be going down. And if there is, take that time to nurture yourself. The Two of Cups for me, this is your ruler in Cancer, Venus in Cancer. And this is a good card for, just making sure that we're doing things that keep us in harmony, that are keeping us as balanced as possible while we're going through this energy right now. Because this is going to be, it's going to be an interesting one, but it's going to be an exciting one. And I feel like that it's, when you're checked in to what's going down, it makes it less of a shock when it goes down, because you can, as you start tuning into the energies, Taurus, and you'll see if we're not feeling it, you will start tuning into this stuff here. Because even when I'm thinking, water signs, yes, they're just naturally intuitive, but I feel like earth signs, you are more rooted into attached to the physical realm than the other signs are. So your intuition definitely manifests, more strongly, I feel like, in this plane. But that doesn't mean, it's just figuring out, I feel like, how your intuition and how you flow through this right now, So this is really going to ask us, I know that, people would say, like, Taurus energy, like, may not like change, is kind of stubborn and whatnot. But that's, sure, that might be a trait. But it's also, too, Taurus, if you have a lot of fixed energy in your chart. But that's a whole other thing. But just be adaptable, I will say, during this time. But all right, let me get you out of here. I'm just rambling on. So stay safe out there, Taurus. With all this going down, stay safe and be mindful during this time, okay? And then when you're done, or when you start coming into that Emperor energy, which I know you will, you're gonna understand. It's all, you got so much clarity here. Your evolution is all going to make sense here soon, Taurus. So you raise that vibration to Neptune and Pluto. Hit up all those planets. And I will catch you, where'd my mouse go? On the next one. Later.